Audio Jungle.
Hello everyone, this is Al Kabir, the analyst, and today I'll be talking to Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Yes, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. It's been a while. They are the most inconsistent team, have no team identity, and Tom Brady's still out here not shaking no hands when he lose. This is Al Kabir, the analyst. All right, so I wanted to talk Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I was going to do it yesterday. I don't know why I decided to wait till today, but it doesn't matter. They fall to the Rams, another team that's above 500, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they're struggling to beat teams over 500. I know you'll look at me like, well, they did beat the Green Bay Packers, but who else did they beat besides that? And Green Bay Packers are low-key getting exposed right now. I may do a video on them, but I don't think the Green Bay Packers as good as people think. I believe Aaron Rodgers is having a great year, but as a team, it's just something off, similar to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Tom Brady, he got this crazy stat of that game that happened against the Rams. So Tom Brady, throwing balls 15 plus yards down the field, he was 1-9, 18 yards and 2 picks. It's just like he just couldn't see down the field. I see a throw, especially if you've seen the game, the last pick he threw, the game-winning pick he threw, dude was double coverage. Safety was watching the receiver the whole time, and Tom Brady just launched it up there. I don't know what Tom Brady's doing, but he's looking older, man. And this is what makes me want to go into this. Sometimes people just don't match. And what I mean by that, Bruce Arians is one of the greatest offensive coordinators, offensive coaches of all time. Well, probably not all time, but he's a great offensive coordinator. He's a great offensive coach. You've seen what he did with Jameis Winston. Once again, a lot of people hate Jameis Winston, but he had his best year. Bruce Arians, historic touchdowns, historic yards. But the pitch just came with it because Bruce Arians liked to move the ball down the field. Whereas though Tom Brady, he needs slants, he needs curl routes, he needs screens. He's not that down the field type of guy. That's why he was always great with not too many superstars. Because if you think of superstar wide receivers, a lot of them like to go down the field. DeAndre Hopkins, Michael Thomas, who else? Julio Jones. Those all like deep threats. So he was always good without a deep threat. As long as you could make cuts and he was quick, he's fine with you. You see his best receiver, he like Chris Godwin. He likes Julian Edelman when he was there. He likes Scotty Miller. So he liked those type of guys. Whereas though Bruce Arians is a big play guy. And that's why I believe the two wouldn't match. You know, a lot of Tampa Bay Buccaneers fans came at me during the offseason. I said, Tom Brady, he's going to look old. He's going to age. I believe the Patriots got rid of him too late, a year late than a year early, because if so, they would have had Jimmy G, who is not the best, kind of injury prone, but it wouldn't have set your organization so far back. So now Tampa Bay thinking, oh, he's our missing piece. He doesn't make so much mistakes as Jameis Winston. He looks worse than Jameis Winston. They was better off keeping Jameis Winston. He has all the talent around him. Got an AB. You got a Mike Evans. You got a Rob Gronkowski. You got a OJ Howard. You got everything. You got the two running backs in the backfield. You got Ronald Jones, who's having he's having games. Let me just say that he's having spectacular games, which I'm not sure why they threw the ball so many times. That's just another story. You got Ronald Jones. You got Leonard Fournette, who can still play at a high level. I believe the offensive line is okay. They can be better, but come on, how much do you want Tom Brady? How much do you want? And this team, it's just not good. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are not good. once again, they can beat up on the Carolina Panthers, or they can beat up on probably the Lions. I'm just naming teams. They can beat up on those under 500 teams, but when that team is over 500 and they established, can't beat them. That's why I don't see them going far. I don't see them beating the Cardinals. I don't see them beating the Rams. I don't see them upsetting the Saints. Saints smoked their boots twice. I don't see any evidence where I can say this team can compete with the teams in the playoffs besides the NFC East. And those teams are under 500 in the NFC East. No matter who makes it out of that division, I believe they could beat them. But come on, I don't think they could beat any other team. I don't think they could beat any other team. And it's not because of this guy, that guy. It's simply because Tom Brady, he's aging, he's washed up, and they should look into getting a quarterback. They should look into getting a quarterback. Obviously, they're not going to be in the bottom 10, so they're not going to get no top 10, but they should really consider getting a younger quarterback. With all those weapons, there's no excuse. There's no excuse. And hey, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, when they got Tom Brady, it was Super Bowl or bust. It was Super Bowl or bust. And they're looking like a bust right now. Maybe they can turn it around, but let's just go over the teams that they beat and the teams that they lost to. So this is exactly the teams that they beat. They lost the Saints the first game. That let me know. That first game let me know like they can't really compete. They beat the Panthers, of course. Panthers under 500. Still trying to find their identity. I believe Panthers will be okay next year, but that's next year. Broncos, Drew Lock struggling. Really no identity, rebuilding. So, hey, you beat that team. Chargers, another team, rebuilding. And actually, that game was a slugfest. They almost lost that game. Then they lose a game to the Bears. 20-19. Come on, that's a game you're supposed to win. Okay, they beat the Packers. They beat the Packers, who I think is a front-running team, so they need to get going. If they don't get going, they will lose the game. And that's another team I will talk about soon. I don't think they're as good as people think. Raiders, that was a good one because I believe Raiders are a good team, but they inconsistent, just like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But who expected the Las Vegas Raiders to be as good as they are now? They actually surprising teams. We talking about a team that's supposed to be Super Bowl contenders, and they beat them Giants. They beat the Giants 25-23, but to me the Giants more lost because of themselves. Daniel Jones didn't have the best game. He had some costly turnovers. And to me, without those turnovers, he kind of outplayed Tom Brady. And that's just to be fair. And I hate the Giants, but come on. Then they go back to the Saints, 38-3. Tom Brady had one of the worst games of all time. One of the worst games of all time. To me, they came back against the Panthers, another team that's under 500, and they beat up on. That's what you're supposed to do. And they come back and lose to the Rams, who I believe the Rams are even not all that good. To me, they front runners too, and they beat up on teams that's under 500. 4 day wins out of 7 came from the NFC East. 4 day wins. I'm pretty sure if I go over there's probably more or lesser teams as well. But I'm not going to do that. This is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They front runners. And they got the Chiefs. Might lose that. They got the Vikings. Might win that. Got the Falcons. Might win that. Got the Lions and Falcons. So they might go on the winning streak. But I don't see them competing with them teams in the playoffs. I don't. And then you got Bruce Arians out here basically sneak dissing Tom Brady. They asked why they not running more plays or something for Antonio Brown. He's like, I am. He's open. But he's basically saying Tom Brady's not seeing him. So it's like, it's a bunch of dysfunction. Bruce Arians versus Tom Brady. And we've seen this in New England. So Tom Brady, at this point, is a common denominator who the problem is. Same problem in New England, he's having in Tampa. So what do you think, and how do you feel about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? Is this team a good team? I'm not sure. I don't think they as good as people think they are. I think they inconsistent. Just inconsistent. They have to be good teams to prove to me that there's something. This is Alchemy, the analyst, no ghost.